Well, greetings, everyone. Just a couple comments. Yeah, sorry for all the dead air. Collecting my thoughts. Um, yeah, just a couple reminders, and then I wanted to comment on one of the discussion boards this past week. So first, just a friendly reminder to draw upon external sources when crafting your initial response to the discussion question. A bit ironic given some of the concerns or challenges that Bash noted in the readings this week, but and the time constraints, I know a few of you mentioned that, and noting that you yourselves fall into this category of adult learner. Actually, probably most of us do, but by many definitions. But I did just want to say, I do want to hold to that criteria, but and I did get an email this week from one of you. If you find an external source that can help support you in crafting an answer to both discussion questions, that's actually fine, totally fine. I mean, I think students in the past too have frequently drawn upon articles they're reading for other classes, or even, we may move on, and there's a topic that was relevant from a few weeks ago, and, that's fine too. So, it doesn't have to be quite as hard as, finding something just for the sake of finding something that's totally outside of your, the experiences that you've had. So, the other thing I want to say, and this is just kind of a logistic thing. So, I think, and I want to say I'm very pleased with the way the Bright Space discussions are going, especially those of you who take the time to respond to threads in your own, or responses in your own thread. I think that's just an amazing thing, and it really kind of helps make this interactive. I will say, so there's this, this real funky artifact of Bright Space discussion boards. So, and you'll probably will have noticed this, but when you go to reply to somebody, the person you're replying to, their entire post comes after what you've put. So I think, honestly, the discussions might possibly go a little smoother if you just delete all that extra text, and then that way you have a kind of a nice, neat thread for everybody to kind of read and follow. Just a suggestion. And then I also wanted to comment on the thread about power and the Brookfield chapter. So the Brookfield chapter is part of the text, or one of the two texts that we use for the course. I think it provides a really interesting complement to the I can never pronounce her name, to this book. Vanicki, I believe is how we pronounce her name. I think it provides a really good contrast to that, and a good complement, actually, interestingly. But one thing I did note is that the reactions, and I haven't read your weekly assignments yet, just judging from the discussion boards, but it seems like your reactions to the Brookfield chapter were fairly mixed. While the Vanicki texts, it seemed like there was more uniform response to that text. But and there were some topics and some concepts that were brought forth in that first chapter that I really kind of sensed that some of you were kind of being challenged by, playing with, so to speak. Clearly the concept of power is very it's introduced in that first chapter, and it's going to reappear as a theme throughout that text. And also the idea of manipulation, and a few of you mentioned in your posts comfort zones and students being in comfort zones, and in general, I think you guys raised some really good issues as you were working your way through that chapter. And I guess I would like to encourage or challenge you to continue to be troubled by those, and to continue to think about those concepts, safety zones, teacher manipulation. And I don't like that term either. I think somebody said that was a loaded term and it had real negative connotations, and it does for me too. But, we're going to be visiting topics such as conceptual change later in the course and transformative learning. So I think it'd be I'd like to just encourage yourself to kind of revisit the challenges of chapter 1 as we embark upon those new topics. So that's about all I have for now. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful Labor Day. Take care.